Hey guys, Self Care September with me, Shannon. Today is September 22nd. Today we are going to focus on following up with sort of the video from Sunday night from Monday, which was when we were talking about starting the day with the right energy. Today I actually want to kind of go from there into kind of an in-depth conversation. A lot of self-care is actually really about how we treat ourselves. So this month I've been talking a lot about a lot of the physical things we could do, writing, a lot of activities, mental, and some of these things are really focused on the emotional aspects of self-care September, but we haven't really gotten into it too in depth. So today, for Monday and Tuesday's video, I'm just gonna kind of go in a little bit to how we talk to ourselves, and do we motivate ourselves? Do we respect ourselves? Do we give ourselves the opportunities that we deserve in life? And the answer to most of those questions for most people is no. We have become complacent as a people, and in that complacency, I don't know if that's exactly how you say it, but in that we have kind of forgot how to be people and how to be human and how to get ourselves where we need to in life. So today's self-care is, are you loving yourself right? So what I really want to start with is kind of like a self-esteem thing. And what I mean is that no one else can boost your self-esteem except for you. And that starts with how you feel about yourself. But how you feel about yourself starts with how you talk to yourself. And how you talk to yourself starts with what you think about yourself. So in the back of a lot of our minds, we're failing. We may look like we have it together. We may look like we're running here and there, soccer, football, this, that, dance, enjoying ourselves as well as parents and people in life. But a lot of the times we are just running and doing those things and not actually taking care of ourselves internally and thinking about ourselves emotionally, which is very easy to forget to do when you have a million things to do, like most of us in 2019. So today's video, I just kind of want to sit back and I want you to ask yourselves, are you nice to yourself? There is a quote out there somewhere, and I used to actually have it on my phone as my cover, and it says, your compassion is incomplete if it does not include yourself. And that was a very important message for me because I have compassion for every human being on this planet. I am so understanding to the point it's hard to be angry with people because you're like, well, I understand where this stems from. I want to sympathize. I want to understand. I want to help this person feel better. And a lot of us tend to do that. We sympathize with animals. We sympathize with other people. Oh my gosh, that poor baby. Or oh my gosh, that elderly man. Or my sister, she's going through this. But we never really take the time to apply that thinking to ourselves. And that's what we're talking about today. We want to apply that same compassion that we put outward to ourselves. We want to talk to ourselves the same way we would talk to our children. And now, if we're not talking nicely to our children, then that's kind of a different story, but we want to be encouraging our children. That's kind of the concept there. So mentally, we need a lot of self-care. There's a lot of depression and anxiety and stress and all these disorders, and I'm sure they'll keep coming up with more names for them. I've, in my time as a human, have been diagnosed with all of them. You name it, they have literally diagnosed me with it in some sort of mental aspect. And what it comes down to is I'm a human being, and I feel emotions on the spectrum, the whole spectrum. Everything from happiness and joy to rage and anger and sadness and fear. And the thing that we have to understand as humans is we are supposed to feel these emotions. We are supposed to be passionate. We are supposed to feel these things. They are part of what we are as humans. In today's society, we hustle, bustle, we go, go, go. We don't give ourselves space to feel these emotions. We don't give ourselves space to feel the happiness, the sadness, the joy, we don't give ourselves, like, think about it. We have a baby and we're back at work in 6 weeks or sometimes even less. That is not even enough time to recover, let alone process emotionally the joy, the pain, the discomfort, the enthusiasm, the new beginning that you're experiencing. And as a person, we're supposed to experience all these emotions. It's when we tend to get stuck in these emotions and we don't know how to get out of them that we start getting labeled with these I have, or depression or anxiety or so on and so forth. And it's because we're not, sadly, not being taught how to deal with these emotions. So, for example, if you have a child who's having what we would call a panic attack or anxiety, in 2019, you go to the doctor, you get a therapist, and they give the kid a pill. But in actuality, what the child should be taught is it's okay to feel uncomfortable. It's okay to feel nervous. It's okay to feel out of your element here. This is a new environment. This is different for you. You're allowed to feel this way. And if we start with the children, giving them that space to feel that way, then they don't stay anxious over, for example, new beginnings. Let's say, you know what I mean? A person with anxiety gets anxious when they're in loud environments, or when they go into a new environment, or it smells different, or it's dark, or however, I don't know, whatever is the trigger for some person. But the catch is, this particular emotion is normal. Anxiety is a mechanism for our body. It's actually good for us because it prevents us from doing stupid things like jumping off a cliff with no parachute. That's natural. We are in a state of dire need for mental care in our society, and I don't mean prescriptions, and please do not get offended by that, because I have been on all the prescriptions that they've given, and the only way that you get better is in here. So what we really have to do is retrain our bodies and our brains to understand that the spectrum of emotions that humans are supposed to feel are supposed to be all of them, in all of their depth, in all of their body feelings. And you know, when you get adrenaline and you're sweating, this is normal. It's normal, guys. It's normal. We're supposed to experience life in this manner. So when we are talking about the mental health aspect and how we can really, in self-care, take care of ourselves, we want to talk to ourselves and give ourselves the space to feel all the emotions that we have inside of us. We want to give ourselves the space to understand, okay, I'm angry right now, and I'm probably going to be angry for like 3 hours, and I don't have to justify that. I just need to feel it, deal with it, and then get over it. It's when we hang on to these emotions for too long. It's when we don't know how to release them, whether it's physically through exercise, whether it's verbally through communication, that we hold them in, and then now we become ill, and we have anxiety, and we have stress, and we have all these disorders and headaches because we can't function. So Self-Care September wants us to really take time to focus on how we are talking to ourselves. My tips for this particular topic are kind of wide range. So, for example, if you're a person who knows that in the back of your mind you constantly say, I can't, then for you, you need to switch to an I can person. If you're a person who constantly is telling yourself, oh, I'll do that next year, or maybe I'll be better at that next time, or so on and so forth, you just need to switch your vocabulary. And it's not like you're going to wake up one day and say, oh, I never thought I could do this, and then today I think I can, and I'm just going to do it. Not everything manifests that way. But if we continuously think less of ourselves and don't give ourselves the space for our emotions, then we are continuously holding on to that and allowing for our bodies to hold on to things it doesn't need to. So the biggest thing that we can do, and this is kind of in conjunction to the video the other day, Sunday night, is start your day with positive energy. So when you start your day with positive energy, a kiss versus yelling, a hug versus, running around stressed out. If we take the extra 5 minutes to get up early because we know that if we do that, we'll spend 5 more minutes on our makeup and we'll feel better, these kinds of things. We want to wake up with a positive energy. We want that around us. And if it's not like that in your environment, then you have to do something to create that. You also have to do something to create boundaries in your mind. You have to create